cost of goods sold this week was 21. I will do a quick update on what has been the topic of conversation for the past 2 weeks, meaning the post office. Also, at the end of the year, this means we are in the last couple days of Q4, and if you do have an eBay store and you haven't used your eBay coupon yet, make sure you cash that in. Welcome back, everybody. Christmas 2025 is in the books. We're pushing super close to the new year coming up this week. Just finished up this week. I'll be honest, it was way busier than I thought it was going to be, and it's a slow week by my standards, but interesting week of eBay sales. It was a great week for me personally. Just having 2 weeks off from school is really nice. Realizing how much time the school actually takes up. This week I was able to get ahead in listing and getting a draft bank built back up. As you can see, I've got my death pile is now growing out into my shipping table. So did a lot of sourcing this week, got out there, got a lot of stuff, a lot of good inventory coming up. Yeah, this was a good time. I hope everybody had a great Christmas. I hope you got lots of gifts. I got one gift and I'm wearing it. If my brother's watching, he got me this sweet Yellowstone hoodie because I am a super nerd fan of the show, even though it just ended. But yeah, so I hope you guys had a great week. Let's go ahead and jump into the numbers and then we'll talk about what happened this week. This week we only had a gross sales of $378, which was a net sales of $195. Interesting week we had. Like I said, I thought it was going to be dead. I didn't even expect to get this much in sales on the week of Christmas. I figured everybody was going to be with family. And surprisingly, Christmas Day itself was my second busiest day with 7228 gross, 4020 net, which I just found interesting. But then again, I guess it does make sense. People are home and with family, probably scrolling on eBay looking for stuff. Average gross per sale this week was $21.02. Average net per sale this week was $10.83. Net profit margin for the week was 52%, which is where I like it to be. Average net per sale was 49%. Remotes, a lot of remotes going out the door this week, which makes me extremely happy. They are a pain when having to do the cleaning and testing portion of it, but it's nice because it does give you something to fill your time, and you know, idle hands being the devil's playground and whatnot. Next up, number 2 on the list is a small town mom and pop thrift store, and then St. Vinny's holding it up at number 3. Spent on new inventory, 0. I actually spent a lot on new inventory, but I'm still working through my death pile, and I didn't list any of the stuff I picked up this week, so that's why that's at 0. Cost of goods sold this week was $29.08. I paid exactly $56 in marketplace fees. I couldn't do that again if I tried. Shipping labels was $98.30. I met my goal of 12 listings a day, and I always do this whenever I start building up a draft bank, where I always accidentally put one live instead of doing it as a scheduled, and popped it live. So we had 14 one day, 11 the other day. Still coming out. Should be 84 for the week, but we did one extra one this week. And we had a total of 18 sales. So obviously not my worst week ever, because I think my worst weeks, like in the beginning, I was getting 3 or 4 sales a week. And like, remember how extremely happy I was back then? Now I average about 20 sales a week. Every now and then we'll break that ceiling of 30 sales in a week. Just trying to come up with different ways to make it grow. Obviously I need to get better merchandise and I need to get better inventory. But I'm happy with this for the week of Christmas. Average time to list something in my store is 16 days. Average time to sell something in my store was 2 months. Did see a lot of older items going out the door. And that's one thing with this new tiered weekend sales that I'm running. I'm doing it by design, where the longer I've had something, the more a discount it's getting. Therefore, we're seeing a lot of stuff that's been sitting on the shelves for 4, 5, 6 months actually starting to move, because they're getting priced lower and below the market and people are picking them up. Return on investment this week was 544%. Average return on investment per sale was 842%. Jumping into the top 10, number 10 sale of the week is this Motown Year by Year, The Sound of Young America 1966 cassette tape. I picked this cassette tape up at a local St. Vincent de Paul's for 25 cents. It sold on eBay for $17.36, which is $12.73 for the cassette tape and $4.63 for the shipping. And I know a lot of people say don't get cassettes or CDs, they're worthless. Just take the time to research them. And one of my big problems when I first started off was I was like, cassettes are all 25 cents. Let me buy a whole bunch of them without looking any of them up. And then you get stuck with 25-cent cassette tapes that are going to sit on your shelves forever. I did a good job of quickly getting away from that and actually researching every single cassette and CD I found on the shelves that I could get for a quarter to a dollar and finding the ones that are worth more than $10 in sales. This one happened to sell for $12.73, which is awesome. Actual cost to ship this item was $4.63. That provided me a net return of $9.21, which was a 3,684% return on investment and a 53% net profit margin. Number 9 sale of the week is this AWA RCW 102 remote control. I picked this remote up for $1.39 on eBay. It sold on eBay for $18.43. That's $12.78 for the remote and $5.65 for the shipping. Actual cost to ship this item was $4.26. That provided me a net return of $9.71, which was a return on investment of 699% and a 53% net profit margin. Number 8 sale of the week is this Sony CECHZRC1U PS3 Media Remote Control. This is just a PlayStation 3 remote control that acts as a DVD remote player for the PS3. I got this on eBay for $1.39. It's sold on eBay for $19 even. That's $13.35 for the remote, $5.65 for the shipping. Actual cost to ship this item was $4.38. Which provided me a net return of $10.51, which was a 756% return on investment and a 55% net profit margin. Number 7 sale of the week is this Zenith HG23A06 remote control. I picked this remote up on eBay for $1.24. It sold on eBay for $20.85. $15 even for the remote, $5.85 for the shipping. Actual cost to ship this item was $4.37, which provided me a net return of $12.38, which was a 998% return on investment and a 56% net profit margin. Number 6 sale of the week is this new with tags Panama Jack Black Aviator sunglasses. Picked these up for $1.12 on eBay. They sold on eBay for $20.88, which is $14.98 for the sunglasses, $5.90 for the shipping. Actual cost to ship was $4.46. This provided me a net return of $12.39, which is a 1,106% return on investment and a 59% net profit margin. And the number 5 sale of the week is also the last sale I had this week. This sold last night. It was a new with tags Tommy Hilfiger men's XL pullover crew neck sweater. I picked this up for $3.07 from a Goodwill. It sold on eBay for $27.10, $15 for the sweater, $12.10 for the shipping. Actual cost to ship this item was $7.78. That provided me a net return of $12.84, which was a 418% return on investment and a 47% profit margin. Number 4 sale of the week is this vintage decorative Contadina brand California 10-pound Greek olive tin can. I got this in that donated lot back in July, and I was for sure this was going to be something I held on to forever. But once I got it home and started researching it, I actually found out there is a market for decorative tin cans that people like to collect. Obviously, I got it from somebody who had it as a display piece in their house. So this cost me $0. It sold on eBay for $29.10. That's $15 even for the can, $14.10 for the shipping. Actual cost to ship this item was $10.69. That provided me a $14.44 net return, which was an infinite return on investment and a 50% net profit margin. Number 3 sale of the week is this Columbia University of Wisconsin men's 2XL fleece vest jacket. I picked this up at a local mom and pop thrift shop for $4 even. It sold on eBay for $30.81, which was $22.11 for the jacket and $8.70 for the shipping. Actual cost to ship this item was $5.80, which provided me a net return of $16.26, which is a 407% return on investment and a 53% net profit margin. And the number 2 sale of the week is this Boston Red Sox men's large number 50 Mookie Betts Blue Nike MLB genuine merchandise jersey. For those that don't know, Mookie Betts currently plays for the Los Angeles Dodgers. He is one of the only players in the league right now to win 2 World Series with 2 different teams, one of them being his former team, Boston. This jersey was in great condition, except for it did have a small stain on the bottom right side of it. Made sure I put that in the listing, clearly depicted in the listing condition, and I also took great pictures of the stain with a measure. It was like literally a tiny stain. And I picked this jersey up for $3.49. It sold on eBay for $37.25, which was $30 for the jersey, $7.25 for the shipping. The actual cost to ship this item was $5.09, which provided me a net return of $23.09, which was a 662% return on investment and a 62% net profit margin. This was a great item. I knew when I saw it in the thrift store, I was like, yep, this is going to make me some good money. And the number 1 sale of the week is this Konica Minolta Dimage Z1 3.2 megapixel digital camera. I picked this up at a mom and pop thrift shop for $2.89. It sold on eBay for $43.18, which was $33.18 for the camera and $10 for the shipping. The camera was in good condition. I mean, it wasn't badly scraped up or banged up. It worked. It came with an SD card, a smaller SD card, and it came with the manuals. It came with the case. It came with the cords. I also did a video on this one, which helped it sell really quick. It sold in 7 days. Actual cost to ship this item was $9.58. That provided me a net return of $25.76, which is an 891% return on investment and a 60% net profit margin. And that concludes our sales of the week. Now, I will do a quick update on what has been the topic of conversation for the past 2 weeks, meaning the post office and all the catastrophe I've had. Before we get into this, let me clearly explain what happened. On the weekend of Black Friday through the first week of December, I had nothing but trouble with all the packages I shipped out through USPS. At the end of the day, once I figured out everything that was going on, there were 14 items that were either lost or just weren't being scanned after I dropped them off at the post office. 14 in total. I opened 14 cases on them. I am proud to announce today that all 14 cases, well, all 14 products, the resolutions are closed. Everything is done. Of the 14, how this drags out is after opening an investigation with the post office, they found 10 of the items. And what is weird, all 10 were found in destinations that were not even in the same direction of where they were supposed to go. An example of this, I had a remote control that was supposed to go to Rhode Island that was found in a small town post office, not a distribution center, a small town post office in Idaho. How that happened, I don't know. That one got resolved. The only package that was like found somewhere in its way of where it was going was I had a VCR that was getting shipped to Los Angeles, and they found it in a Denver distribution center. They actually found 3 packages in the same Denver distribution center. All the other packages were literally found in places where they had no business being, shouldn't even have gone that's not where they should have been, but they were found and gone. So that leaves 4 on the table. 4 of them, one was the one going to Miami, which I think I already discussed. I refunded it. It looks like they found it. It's now been delivered, but I had to refund it a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, somewhere in that time frame. So they got them. Then the other 3, the cases I had open on them, as every day I was checking the case, I never got a call on the 3. And then I looked in the tracking information, and the tracking information said case investigation closed. And I'm like, what? And then there's nothing. There's no scans. There was no delivery to them. So I called the post office, inquired, and they were like, yeah, that's resolved. And I'm like, well, can you tell me what resolved in the investigation? Well, we didn't do the investigation, somebody else did, but they resolved it. And I'm like, okay, how come it's not scanned anywhere? And they were like, well, no, if it's resolved, it should. Oh no, it's not. And they couldn't give me any answers. And I begged them to have a supervisor call me back. They didn't communicate with me. I tried calling back again, and I kept getting the runaround. So finally I just reached out to those three, and I provided refunds to all three of them. One of the customers was super nice and said, hey, if the item ever does show up, I would like to reach out to you and figure something out. And I'm like, no, don't worry about it. Just keep the product. It's not fair to you. You've waited over a month, and it was literally over a month by that point since they hadn't got it. I will be looking into how to file a claim with the post office for those four. I would like to recoup something for them, and I'm sure what's going to end up happening is they'll get delivered and they'll deny my claim, but we're still going to file a claim for those four because I believe that it's owed to me. It took more than a month to get to it. So that's the resolution. That's done. Everything's clear. Since after the first week of December, every package through the post office has been fine. Some were a little slow to get to their destinations, but they were consistently scanned throughout the journey and they got delivered. So right now, we are all square with the house. In my eyes, that's the end of that story, and it's done. And I want to just say thank you to the whole community for weighing in on it, because I know some people have had different experience. There's some people who had like 1 or 2 packages this happened to. I've had a few people email me and say, I'm in the same boat as you, like 8, 9, 10 packages got lost this year. And then there's some people who didn't have any packages that were even slowed down and everything was delivered on time. But it was nice to have those conversations going in the comments section to where you could see everybody's experiencing something different. None of us are having a consistent experience with the post office. I have no bad blood. I'm not upset. I have no ill will. I'm just glad everything's resolved. And one thing about this situation that I'm really happy about is for the last 5 months, my average 30-day feedback sits at about 30 positive feedback. I've gotten 1 negative and I've gotten 1 neutral feedback. Not mad about that. Could care less about it. However, I do like getting positive feedback, and currently right now my positive feedback is sitting at 47 positive feedback for the last 30 days, and a mass majority of them are the 14 people that I dealt with throughout, 14 customers that I dealt with throughout this. And it was really nice that of the 4 that did not get a product and I had to refund them, 3 of them left wonderful feedbacks for me, and it was really nice. And then everybody else who got their packages late, I would be upset if I got a package late, but they knew I was doing my best, and they also like 7 or 8 of them left positive feedbacks, and then I just got regular normal positive feedback. So that's the positive outlook I'm taking from this whole situation. Is it gave me an opportunity to showcase my customer service, which resulted in a slew of positive feedback. So if anybody does come to my store and they do look at my feedback and they say, hey, this guy's an honest businessman, he's actually going to make sure either we get the product as described, delivered safely, and if something happens beyond his control, he's going to make us whole. And he's going to do it in a timely fashion. It's not going to be like pulling teeth. And that's been my big thing throughout this process, is I didn't want to frustrate any customer, because I've been on the customer end of it, where I just get the runaround and my product's not here, there's no resolution, and I know the seller doesn't want to refund me. They're trying to do everything they can to avoid it, which of course, as a seller, I would love to do that, but you know, there comes a point where you got to make the customer whole, and you got to make them right. Even if, you know, like with these lost packages, I'm sure they're going to be found here in the next week or 2, and they will eventually be delivered. It's just the cost of doing business sometimes. And this is also this show is also the go home show for the year. It's the last and final episode of the first calendar year of me starting my eBay journey. And Wednesday, New Year's Day, I've already got it planned out. I'm going to do a year in review episode where I go over the top 10 sales of the year and the top 10 flop sales of the year where I lost money or made very, very little. I'm going to call it the Studs and Duds episode. And I'm also going to share what I've learned, like as a whole, from where I began, where I've started to the point I am now. and what my plans for the future going through. I got some stuff that I'm thinking about doing in 2025, things I want to experiment with. I like cross listing. I still don't think I'm ever going to cross list, but I am entertaining the idea in May, after I have a year under my belt, of maybe dipping my toe in the water of trying to do a Whatnot live sale. Um, just because I think, you know, that could be something. There could be something to that, and I'm going to explore those options. And I want to make sure that if I do a Whatnot live sale, I'm going to dual stream it to YouTube, to where obviously, you know, you can't buy anything on YouTube. But if you are a watcher of this channel and enjoy watching my journey, I'll make sure you guys can watch the Whatnot live streams if I decide to do those starting in May. Yeah. And with this week off, this has been an absolute great week of just taking pictures, listings, getting items scheduled, having a draft bank build up to go into 2025, to where I know now I'm going to be taking advanced classes for graphic design, so I know it's going to be eating up a lot more time than it has been. I'm not saying this to brag, but general education courses, I'm not a dumb guy, so they were relatively easy to do. You know, study the lesson plan, study the syllabus, research everything. But I know how to do math. I know how to do like English and structure paragraphs and writing. So all that's behind me. Now it's learning what I want to learn, which is graphic design, that I've done for a hobby for years, but I've never been formally trained in it. And it's fun learning how to do it the right way, instead of just a guy trying to learn on his own through YouTube tutorials, which is not bad. I've done a lot of great things through that, but I like learning how to do it the professional way. Also, at the end of the year, this means we are in the last couple days of Q4, and if you do have an eBay store and you haven't used your eBay coupon yet, make sure you cash that in. That is part of your subscription. That is free money towards supplies. Make sure you get your free stuff and you cash in that coupon. And just like that, once Q1 starts, go ahead and cash that coupon in for the first quarter and just get it out of the way so you don't forget about it. I have a reminder set on my phone for the first day of the quarter to go and cash in my coupon, because now I'm paying for the $60 a month store, which is a $50 coupon, and I make sure I get the $50 worth of supplies. I actually just this quarter I switched up. Instead of getting the eBay tape, I got the eBay boxes. And they're actually really nice boxes, and they look really good, and it's professional. And I do know a lot of people say, you know, you shouldn't use eBay branded tape or eBay branded because of theft and stuff like that. And I understand the point and I get the concept, but there's also a counter to that, which is using the eBay branded tape and the eBay branded boxes. Every single Amazon purchase you make gets Amazon tape, and it comes in majority of them come in Amazon boxes. And the reason behind that is because it's advertising the marketplace you sell on. And yes, I understand that there's porch pirates in this world who steal packages off a porch, but I don't think people who are stealing items off of porches don't care if it says Amazon, eBay, or has a marketplace wrapping on it. If they're stealing off of porches, they're stealing off of porches. They don't care what the package is actually wrapped in. And the one thing that I would say is pro using eBay branded things is its constant advertisement throughout its journey. So when people see the boxes, like, oh man, people buy on eBay, and there could be postal employees who say, you know what, I haven't looked on eBay in forever. When they see your package, let me go home and see if there's something to buy. And we all benefit as an eBay selling community. That is the reason Amazon packages everything with Amazon branded tape and Amazon branded boxes, is because they want the consumer to see these packages out in the wild, and they want them to think, go to Amazon to shop. I think us as eBay sellers should actually really consider that, and we should be trying to help each other out by getting more people on the platform. And I know eBay's the bad guy sometimes, and they do a lot of stuff we don't like, but they still are providing us a home to make a living selling products on. So I have no problem trying to get more people to that platform to buy more stuff from me and you if you are an eBay seller. And if you guys think I'm loving on eBay a little bit too much, they did give us this platform to sell on. And that goes for any selling platform. I mean, it takes a lot of capital to build one of these platforms and maintain it, and it's not the greatest thing in the world. And of course, they don't always have sellers backs the way they should, but nobody's going to be perfect. And I think eBay has done a pretty good job since I've started reselling on eBay. They have not given me what I wanted all the time, and they've definitely disappointed me. But a good majority of the time, they've been reasonable, understanding, and actually helped resolve stuff in my favor. With that said, yeah, I've had a great week. I had a great Christmas. I hope you guys had a great week in Christmas. I hope you guys, if you've got New Year's plans coming up, you guys have a blast New Year's Eve. Stay safe, you know, be adults about having fun on New Year's. Don't do anything super dumb. If you're new here and you like this content, a subscribe would be greatly appreciated. If you like the content, hit the like button. Boots has been so antsy today. Are you okay? You okay? Can Dad close out the show? Dad close out the show? Oh, there she is. There she is. You want to say hi? Say hi? Well, on behalf of Boots, Bandit, and myself, we hope you guys had a Merry Christmas. We hope you have a wonderful New Year's. And I will see you on Wednesday, for sure, for the Studs and Duds episode. And we're going to do the year in review on my store. And we'll go through the top 10 sales of the year and the top 10 duds of the year. And see you guys then. Have a great week, everyone. We went down to the river to pray, studying about that good old way. Who shall wear the robe and crown? Good Lord, show me the way.